Hi friend, this is our haul for the month of February. The Ring 3 movie collection includes The Ring 2, and Rings. The Ring was directed by Gore Verbinski, written by Aaron Kruger, starring Naomi Watts, Martin Henderson, Brian Cox, and David Dorfman. The Ring 2, directed by Hideo Nakata, written by Aaron Kruger, starring Naomi Watts, David Dorfman, and Simon Baker. Rings was directed by Javier Gutierrez, written by David Locke, Jacob Estes, and Akiva Goldsman, starring Matilda Lutz, Alex Rowe, and Johnny Galecki. The first film revolves around a cursed tape, and the second is more of a family drama set in the paranormal horror movie. The third is pretty forgettable. While I prefer the original Japanese films, these are still pretty fun. Jaws 3 movie collection includes Jaws 2, Jaws 3, and Jaws the Revenge. Jaws 2, directed by Jeannot Szwarc, written by Carl Gottlieb and Howard Sackler, starring Roy Scheider, Lorraine Gary, and Murray Hamilton. Jaws 3, directed by Joe Alves, written by Richard Matheson and Carl Gottlieb, starring Dennis Quaid, Bess Armstrong, and Louis Gossett Jr. Jaws the Revenge, directed by Joe Sargent, written by Michael de Guzman, starring Lorraine Gary, Lance Guest, Michael Caine, and Mario Van Peebles. Jaws has to be in my top 5 movies of all time, but these movies are mostly terrible. This is one reason I love these multi-movie packs, is just to get the movies that may not be great, but they're a good way to complete a series. Shark Bait, 6 killer shark films. Includes Ghost Shark, Mississippi River Sharks, Ozark Sharks, Santa Jaws, Swamp Shark, Zombie Shark, and an extra movie, Alligator Alley. I would list all the credits, but I think I'll be doing some of these at a later date for reviews, so be on the lookout for that. Carrie 2-pack includes Carrie, the 1976 version, and the Carrie remake from 2013. Carrie 1976 was directed by Brian De Palma, written by Lawrence D. Cohen, starring Sissy Spacek, Piper Laurie, Amy Irving, William Catt, Nancy Allen, and John Travolta. The remake, directed by Kimberly Pierce, written by Lawrence D. Cohen and Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, starring Chloe Grace Moretz, Julianne Moore, Portia Doubleday, Ansel Elgort, and Judy Greer. A young woman who starts to develop telekinetic powers just wants to make it through high school like a normal girl. I loved the 1976 Carrie, and the remake is so-so, but it's great to have both these flicks in one package. The Host, directed by Bong Joon-ho, written by Bong Joon-ho, Won Joon-ha, and Chu Hyun Bak, starring Song Kang-ho, Bien Hee-bong, Park Hae-il, Bae Do-na, and Koo Ah-sung. A strange monster emerges from the Han River, kidnapping Gang-do Park's daughter. He and the rest of his family fight to find her while dodging the military and the monster. From the director of Snowpiercer and Parasite, I've been on the lookout for this one for a while. This copy's pretty beat up, but it was still watchable, and I highly recommend it to anyone that likes monster movies. Casablanca, directed by Michael Kurtz, written by Julius J. Epstein, Philip G. Epstein, and Howard Koch, starring Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, Paul Henry, and Claude Rains. Bogart plays an expatriate who reluctantly helps his ex and her husband escape Morocco. It was $3 for this classic that I'm almost embarrassed to say that I haven't seen, but I couldn't pass this up, especially for this edition. Reign of Fire, directed by Rob Bowman, written by Greg Chabot, Kevin Terka, and Matt Greenberg, starring Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey, Gerard Butler, Isabella Scorupco, and Alexander Siddig. 20 years after dragons are released by a tunneling crew in London, a small settlement is at risk of attack after a group of dragon hunters arrive. This movie, I feel, has been overlooked. It's silly fun, but I'm a sucker for dragon flicks, and this has a great cast. The effects are a little dated, but the movie's so much fun, it didn't really matter. Lost Boys: The Thirst, directed by Dario Payana, written by Evan Charnov and Hans Rodionov, starring Corey Feldman, Jameson Newlander, Tanit Phoenix, and Seb Kesting. This is the continuation of Edgar Frog's quest to eliminate vampires. Here he helps a young woman searching for her brother. Corey Feldman is great as Edgar Frog, but this sequel, as well as the last entry, are not the best of movies. I really only picked this to add to my Lost Boys collection. Slither, written and directed by James Gunn, starring Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Greg Henry, and Michael Rooker. An alien lifeform crash lands in rural South Carolina and slowly takes over a small town. This was James Gunn's featured film debut, and he came out the gate with a crazy movie. I don't want to say too much here as I plan to review it later, but if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. If you like this, you can check out this video to see another haul video, or if you'd like to see one of our reviews, check out this video. Thanks.